That kid right there, that was me. 14 years old, wide-eyed, and dreaming of rock stardom. And for the next 45 years, I pursued that dream. I played in bands, toured a little, played bars, weddings, big festivals, and everything in between. And don't get me wrong, those were some of the best years of my life. But as of 2025, I made a decision. I'm going all in on solo and duo acoustic gigs. No more bands, no more big setups, no more disagreements over the set list or arrangements. Now, I know a lot of musicians struggle with this decision, so today I'm breaking down 10 big reasons why I made the switch and why I think acoustic gigs are better. If you're on the fence about making the move, stick around. This might give you some things to think about. Anyone who's played in a band for any amount of time knows that it's not just about the music. It's about managing schedules, egos, and creative differences. One guy doesn't want to play a certain song. Another guy is late to every gig and doesn't want to help with the setup and tear down. One is inconsistent, maybe drinks a bit too much, and we won't even talk about trying to learn new, fresh songs. As a solo act, I don't have to worry about that anymore. I play the material that makes me and the audience happy, and I can add a new song anytime I get the inspiration. That freedom has made music fun again. It's just about me and the guitar, playing because I love to, performing on my own instinct, and setup and tear down is way quicker, usually 15 minutes compared to an hour or more to get a band ready to play. Have you ever had band drama? Let me know in the comments. What's the worst band conflict you've experienced? Now, one of my favorite things about acoustic gigs is the connection with the audience. When I play a song like Country Roads or Stand By Me, I see people light up. I can see that moment when they get transported back to a memory, a road trip, a summer night, a first dance. Even times when I thought nobody was really paying attention, I've had someone come up to me after a gig and say, "I've always loved that song, thank you for playing it." That kind of connection is something special. And I feel it more in acoustic settings than in full band gigs. That's probably one of my favorite things. It lets me know I'm on the right road. Now, when you're in a cover band, you usually stick to a set list of 60 to 80 songs. You rehearse them, lock them in, and play them night after night. But as a solo or duo act, I can pull from over 500 songs, and I'm constantly adding more. If someone requests a deep cut from the 70s or an obscure folk song, there's a good chance I can play it. And if I can't, well, that leads me to my next point. Let's face it, I've been around a while, and I've played and learned thousands of songs. I pride myself on knowing a big variety of songs and genres from the 50s through today's current music. In a band, if someone requests a song the band has never played before, you have to say no. But as a solo act, I can try it on the spot. Even if I only partially know a verse or a chorus, the audience appreciates the effort. I give it my best shot. The people understand I've never played the song, but I'm giving it my best effort to fulfill their request. I've had moments where I attempted a song and the audience started singing along and carrying me through it. It turns into this magical moment that wouldn't happen in a band setting. Let's be real. Late night gigs take a toll. When I play a band gig, most of the time we would play till 1 or 1:30 in the morning. Then you have to break down all the gear, load out, drive home, and finally crash at 3 or 4 a.m. Now, most of my acoustic gigs are done by 11. I pack up, usually within 15 minutes, get home in a reasonable hour, and actually feel human the next day. And you know what? That feeling better has led me to pursue my YouTube channel as a serious full-time endeavor, and to provide better value for you. And speaking of value, that leads me to my next point. Here's something that surprised me when I started doing solo gigs full-time. The money is often better than band gigs. In a band, you might split $600 to $800 4 or 5 ways, leaving you with $150 to $200 per night. But as a solo act, I can book gigs for $200 to $400, sometimes more if it's a private event or a high-end venue. And then there's the tips. When you're in a band, it didn't feel right to set up a tip jar. I felt the extra tip money should go to the waitresses doing their best all night. But with acoustic gigs, it's kind of expected that I have a tip jar. People appreciate being able to show their appreciation. I've had many good tip nights, and again, it lets me know I'm on the right path. If you engage with the audience, take requests, and create a great vibe, people are happy to throw in 10 or 20 bucks for their favorite song. I also use digital tip jars like Venmo or PayPal, which makes it easier for people to tip on the spot. So when you add it all up, less hassle, shorter hours, better pay, going all in on acoustic gigs just makes sense. Let's be honest. When you're in a band at a bar, you're not just playing music, you're selling beer. The louder you play, the more people dance, the more they drink. It's part of the job. But with acoustic gigs, I'm not just background noise, I'm creating an atmosphere. People are actually listening, even when it doesn't seem like it. I've seen people sitting still, then notice their foot tapping under the table, or even quietly singing along to my songs. And at the end of the night, they'll come up and say, "That was amazing, thank you." Now, one of the coolest things about playing solo is that I have complete control over how I play a song. If the crowd is into it, I can extend a chorus. If I want to slow a song down and make it more emotional, I can. With a band, you're locked into a rigid structure, but as a solo act, you can read the room and adjust in real time. This is probably one of my favorite things about acoustic setup. I tire of the same arrangement night after night that a band goes through. Sometimes I like to switch it up, maybe strum a particular song or decide to fingerpick it that night. It's all up to me and the vibe I'm trying to create. With a band, you're locked into a set list. But as a solo act, I can switch things up mid-show. If I notice people reacting more to 70s classic than 90s country, I pivot. If I'm playing an upbeat bar, I stick with rowdy sing-alongs. If I'm in a quiet dinner setting, I bring out the finger-picking ballads. That kind of flexibility makes every gig feel fresh. A full band is mostly playing bars, weddings, and maybe some big shows. But with an acoustic setup, I can play bars, coffee shops, wineries, corporate gigs, house concerts, private parties, and even retirement homes. That means more gig opportunities and a more diverse audience. Plus, it keeps things interesting. I could be playing for a rowdy bar one night and a relaxed dinner crowd the next. So after 45 years in bands, I've gone all in on solo and duo gigs, and I couldn't be happier. If you've ever thought about making the switch, I'd love to hear from you in the comments. What's your experience been like? And hey, if you stuck around to the end, I appreciate you being part of this awesome community. While you're here, check out some of my other videos. There's a ton of resources here to help you on your musical journey. I'm Barry Clevenger, and I'll see you in the next video.
The only thing that stays the same is everything changes, everything changes.